Okay, so number 4, which of the following will compile without error? There's three choices, one, two, three, and then from those, right, we're supposed to select A, B, C, D, or E, which are combinations of the three things that we have there. So if you remember the project, right, the picture project, one of the things that we defined early on was this thing called the digital picture. The digital picture was not a class, it was an interface, right? This was nothing more than a collection of method headers that needed to be implemented by some other class, right? And we had one class in particular that implemented the digital picture interface, and that was the simple picture. Everything that the digital picture interface required or spelled out had to happen definitely happened in the simple picture class. So because an interface doesn't have any actual methods in it, it's not something that's meant to be instantiated, right? We never create an instance of a digital picture. It just can't happen because there's nothing there, right? All it is specifying what methods, specific methods, need to be included in any class that implements it. So one of the things that would be a problem, it's not a problem here, is we would never see, for example, the keyword new followed by digital picture. And the reason why is digital picture doesn't even have a constructor, right? We can't make an instance of a digital picture. It just doesn't make any sense. There's nothing there. So that doesn't eliminate any of these choices, right? So far, all of these would work. So let's take a look at choice 1. So what choice 1 is doing is it's creating a variable, and it's called P. And this variable is capable of referring to a digital picture. So although we can't create an instance of a digital picture, it's capable of referring to an object that has all of the functionality of a digital picture. In other words, it's something that implements that or implements it via inheritance. And there are two things in our project that did that. One of the things that implemented the digital picture was the simple picture, right? It definitely implements it because it was right there. It was a keyword. Simple picture implements the digital picture interface. It said that. But because of inheritance, right, the picture class extended the simple picture class. So because of inheritance, we know that the picture class contained all of the methods that were spelled out in the simple picture class, and we know because simple picture class implemented the digital picture interface, it has all of the methods that were required in the digital picture interface as well. So both simple picture and the picture class fully realize the methods that are called for in the digital picture interface. So because of that, we can look at this and say with great confidence that yes, I could use the keyword new, and I could use the picture class to create a reference variable, a variable that's pointing to something that implements or realizes the digital picture interface. Picture does it again because it extends the simple picture class, and the simple picture class implemented the digital picture interface. One of the ways that I like to think about this is I know that this thing specifies a bunch of methods, right? There's a bunch of methods that it contains or it inherited, and certainly anything that's spelled out in the picture class, right? It covers everything that's required by a digital picture. In fact, I think defining it this way kind of limits the digital picture variable just a bit, in that this variable P, because it's a digital picture P variable, it's only able to access those functions that are spelled out in the digital picture interface. So anything that it inherited, well, for example, the simple picture could add additional methods, right? There's no reason why it can't have more methods than the interface required, so it could have more, and the picture class could add even more. So when I declare it this way, right, P is capable of only pointing to those functions outlined in the digital picture class. If I wanted something that had all of the functionality of the picture class, instead of saying digital picture P equals new picture, I would just say picture P, right? Picture P equals new picture, and then from that point, all of the functionality outlined in the picture class would be available to the variable P. I think this gets down to the dot operator thing. So like one of the things that's spelled out in the picture class itself, we were adding a bunch of things, was reflect left to right. All of those methods that we wrote, I don't think any of those methods would work the way this is set up, because we could only call those things that were outlined in the digital picture interface. 2 also would work, and the reason why it works is, again, this reference variable P is capable of pointing to an object who has all the functionality of the digital picture. Simple picture has all that plus some more, so that would be a fine thing too. Again, what Java cares about is when the compiler runs, we're caring about binding methods to method calls. So what it cares about is, hey, P dot, all the operators there, all the things that I could call on this variable P, right, are definitely covered in the picture class. So, and because I'm just limited to the digital picture interface methods that aren't actually methods, right? They're just specified. The final one there is a problem. If you look at it, it says picture P equals new simple picture, and here's the problem. If you look at this this picture class, right, it extends the simple picture. So that means it has certainly all the functionality of a simple picture, but it could have more. In fact, it could have much more. And if it has much more, the problem is when we try to access those methods that the picture class adds, simple picture's constructor and all the functionality of simple picture just isn't enough, right? So the simple picture class doesn't have all the methods necessary to accommodate this guy. And I can't remember exactly what the error you get in your compiler, but it'll say, I think it says something like simple picture can't be converted to type picture, right? It just doesn't have all the methods available to it that a picture would need. So this is a no-go. So that means that choice 1 and 2, I believe, D is correct. I suggest that you take a look at, I think it's pages, in your textbook it was, not in your textbook, in the lab, you might want to look at pages 10, 11, and 12 to kind of reread what it said about interfaces, classes, and then extending classes.